I set off the alarm. Oh no. So I'm getting ready to go to my artist residency. It's like 6 a.m. winter time. And lots of things are arising this morning. Sometimes I just get in these like crazy bursts of energy. If anyone knows me, maybe it's all the time, but I can be online at any hour of the day. 6 a.m. baby. I'm gonna share more when I get to the studio, but let's get some coffee first. Woo! Something that's coming up for me as I'm driving, but when you speak like your truth or write it down or make an artwork, you really will start to release more of yourself out into the world. And this is how I teach and share, is that you can't let it like fester inside of you, because it's just gonna like be suppressed in there, and then to me that just creates a depression, you know, that suppression. Alright, so we got the most important thing. I'm getting ready to walk over to the artist residency. It's early in the morning. Oh, it's cold. The wind. Look at the street. It's pretty nice. Cute, right? Walking in the road. It's early. Doesn't matter. If I die out here, I die. So watch this. Let there be light. There we go. Artist residency, I've been making a lot of large drawings like this, and I'm gonna turn on the video camera and show you the process of that, and see what happens, right? You never really know what's gonna happen, because today's a new day. And I'm kind of tired. I was in here earlier, and I set off the alarm. I don't know, the door slammed, and that's considered a glass break, even though it's not glass breaking. I don't know how that triggered the alarm. Leave it to me. Setting off alarms. Kind of low key today. Not much is going on. I cleaned up in the studio so I can make another mess, because that's the process. It's cyclic of nature, and it's just the way it works for me, right? You gotta do it in the end what works for you. There's no like hard pressed rule. There's more of like interests and desires and loves, and open up wider to those things, and learning to face it and not run away from what is truly important in an artworks in our lives. In addition to art making, you know, we really can start to move ourselves forward in all kinds of ways. This is a good example of why FACE is such a great program, or even idea. When we can like get closer to what is going on internally, like even noticing I'm tired, and I could kind of feel like lethargic around that, or like not that motivated, but I kind of like want to use that as like a entryway in, and kind of like move the energy and find that emotionality. To me, this is how we can show up, not just like to our artworks daily, but to our lives, where we notice like the balance becomes a dance. You know what I mean? Kind of learn to move with it all instead of just like push it away or shove it down. Let it like rise. And sometimes that's challenging. The whole idea of facing it doesn't mean it's easy, doesn't mean it's pretty, doesn't mean it's perfect. These are like some important tenets about how I see it, not just in art and creative work, but in living. It's definitely a process and a practice, and it's not perfect, but it is possible to show up more fully as not just like what you want to draw, like abstractly, express raw, intuitively, and emotionally, but like how you want to show up to like your life. Maybe that even means showing up in your nervous, awkward state. Hi. So fear can really take us out of lots of things. It can take us out of our artwork. It can take us out of life. It can take us out of showing up to who we really are and what we really desire and how we want to express. And I know that because I was like stuck in fear for a long time, and the pain of the day I still can be. It's not perfect, it's a practice. I always say that. All of it, not just art, but living. And there's something about opening wider those internal doors, the spaces and places inside of us. Sometimes we fear to go to those places, even in our artworks. But when we get more daring, we can kind of start to uncover and discover and even rediscover what was truly important to us. And that's exciting because it means you can always face yourself and start again in any situation, and you just show up and take responsibility for it all, which isn't always the easiest thing to do, but I know it's possible. So I'm interested in all that and more, and diving deeply, and opening more of my internal doors and sharing the story and seeing what happens in the process. Sometimes we can put the label on ourselves like introvert, which I would say I am, but the last year and a half, 2 years, the more I put myself out there, I can see, I have the potential for extroversion just as much as the next person. But so sometimes we can hide behind those labels is what I'm trying to say. You put it on like a big comfy something, but really you just need to take it off. Yeah. It's kind of like, it can be like that. So if you're hiding out in the fear of anything, really, you need getting more clear is like turning within and facing it. Hence my program, Face, that starts next January. It's a hybrid 8-week online program that has 8 live sessions plus a pre-recorded content. It's abstract, it's energetic, it's intuitive, it's non-representational, it is emotional, and it is a deep dive. And all my artist friends are gonna make an appearance because they've been showing up to as I'm building the class, so it's a little art history too. But through the lens of how I'm seeing it in relation to energy, emotion, intuition, and integration. And you can learn more about that at the link below. So here I am starting another large set of drawings, and I told you I was tired. I was also alarmed from the alarm, and I was kind of deterred because I had woken up earlier with a big burst of energy, and I could see all these things in my peripheral, like my mind's eye, and I was really excited to get going. So but having that happen kind of made me I felt unmotivated and weird and kind of dumb because I just brought up weird stuff for me, so it definitely didn't go as planned. But I survived. I think that's a good lesson. Sometimes we can take things way too serious and add like context. And I'm not saying don't take things serious, but you know, life goes on, art goes on, and you have to show up. I want to show up no matter what, but I'm just like super dedicated to my practice and investigating my emotions and like facing it. My spiritual practice also does the same thing. It allows me to turn inward. I feel like art making is a spiritual practice, a meditative practice for me, as much as it is like a final product that I can sell and do sell. But like there's like these different areas of interest for me, and I'm really good in the process and explaining the process, and that's what leads me into teaching. It's just natural, and so I want to do more of that every day, and you know, face my own stuff just as much as I'm like starting to teach that, right? Gotta like do the work and keep showing up to the moment and the mark, and no matter what. So I hope you enjoyed seeing some of the large drawings be created. And I am using paint, but when I'm using the paint, I'm thinking about like a drawing mark. I'm like not really all about the arguing anymore. It's more about like, this is just what I want to do. This is what I'm interested in. This is what I'm going to do. This is what I'm doing. And I'll just keep going with that. And that can be like a hard thing to pitch up to and stand in that, right? Sometimes I feel like that can be part of being an artist, is just like saying, I'm gonna do this anyway, and no matter what, you know, happens or doesn't happen for that matter. And that's why face is so important. So if you're interested in that, there's a video and I'll put it here. You can learn more about my thinking around the 8 weeks that starts next January, and yeah, see if that feels resonant to you, and if it does, I'd love for you to join me. But thank you for being here.